The Obukhovskii 12/52 pattern 1907 gun was a 12-inch, 305 mm, 52 caliber naval gun. It was the most powerful gun to be mounted aboard battleships of the Imperial Russian Navy and later the Soviet Navy during both World Wars. It was later modified by the Soviets and employed as coastal artillery and as a railway gun during World War II. History. The Obukhovskii 12/52 pattern 1907 was designed to reflect lessons learned from the Russo-Japanese War, and despite changes in specifications while the guns were being manufactured, they were considered excellent pieces. In April 1906, a conference of 20 admirals and specialists in ship and ordnance design met to determine what the specifications of the new fleet being built to replace the losses suffered during the Russo-Japanese War would be. The consensus of the meeting was that the new battleships would be armed with no less than 12 1-2 ion guns mounted on the ship's center line and capable of delivering a 12-gun broadside. This would be superior to any foreign ships then in service or under construction. 4 triple turrets were chosen for the new guns, because 6 double turrets would have made the ships too long for existing slipways. Design sketches in early 1907 showed that triple turrets would save 15% in weight over double turrets. These triple gun turrets were designated Mk3-12, and were deployed aboard the Ganget-class and Imperatrice-Samaria-class dreadnoughts in mountings constructed by the Metallishevsky Works. The gun originally envisioned was 12-50 caliber, weighing 47.3 tons, 52.1 short tons, with a 331 kilograms, 730 pounds, shell, at a muzzle velocity of 914 m/s, 3000 feet/s. These new guns were to be based on the 12-40 pattern 1895 guns as used on the Andrei Pervozvana class battleships. Since the requirement for new battleships was so urgent, work began before range testing could determine the appropriate shell weight, muzzle velocity, or chamber pressure for the new guns. In July 1906, the Obukhovskii Works began production on the now 12-52 caliber guns, with the inner tubes of the first guns being completed by the end of 1906. Between the project approval in 1906 and the final approval of ordnance specifications in 1911, the weight of shell, muzzle velocity, and chamber pressure had changed multiple times. Since the inner tubes had already been built, it was impossible to lengthen the guns to suit the new specifications. After the specified changes were implemented, a 471 kilograms, 1038 pounds, shell with a muzzle velocity of 762 m/s, 2500 feet/s, and a weight of 51 tons, 56 short tons, was settled upon, muzzle velocity being traded for increased shell weight. The Naval Ministry ordered 198 guns, and somewhere between 126 to 144 had been produced by the end of 1916. Another 12 of the 42 scheduled were delivered in 1917. 14 incomplete guns were finished in 1921 and a few others were later completed. Construction. The Obukhovskii 12/52 pattern 1907 was constructed of A tube, 2 B tubes to the muzzle, 2 C tubes, 2 D tubes and jacket. The breech bush screwed into the jacket, locking the parts together, and a collar was shrunk on the breech bush and the end of the collar covered by a small ring with a shoulder. Both collar and ring were placed in position when hot. A Welland breech block was used. Allowable barrel life for pieces mounted aboard Black Sea Fleet units was 400 rounds per gun. General characteristics. Barrel length, 52 calibers. Maximum laying speed, vertical, 4 degrees per second, horizontal, 3.2 degrees per second. Shell weight. Naval 1911, 471 kilograms, 1.038 pounds. Coastal Defense, 446 kilograms, 984 pounds. German Coastal He, 405 kilograms, 893 pounds. Initial velocity of the shell. Naval 1911 471 kilograms shell, 762 meters/second, 2500 feet/second. Coastal defense 446 kg shell, 853 meters/second, 2,800 feet/second. Range. With 471 kg shell, 29,340 meters, 32,080 yards. Coastal artillery. In addition to being deployed aboard the Ganget-class and Imperatrice Samaria-class battleships, the guns were also emplaced as coastal artillery in the Peter the Great naval fortress along the Tallinn-Porkala defensive line in 1917, as well as being mounted as railway guns. Between the wars, Soviet forces placed 4 4-gun batteries around the Baltic Sea, 2 4-gun batteries in Sevastopol and 2 6-gun batteries in Vladivostok. Some guns from the Russian battleship Imperator Alexander III were later captured by the Germans in World War II and used in the Battery Miras in Guernsey during the German occupation of the Channel Islands. During the Second World War, the Soviet Separate Coastal Army maintained 4 of the guns in the Maxim Gorky fortresses in Crimea. When an advancing German army laid siege to Sevastopol, the coastal batteries were used extensively in the defense of the city. Both batteries were eventually knocked out of action. 1938 Railway Gun Trademark 3-12. 3 railway guns were built, using guns from the sunken battleship Imperatrice Samaria, which had been lost to a magazine explosion in Sevastopol harbor in October 1916. They were used in the Soviet-Finnish War in 1939–1940. In June–December 1941 they took part in the defense of the Soviet naval base on Finland's Hanko Peninsula, Russian Ganget/. They were disabled by Soviet seamen when the base was evacuated, and were later restored by Finnish specialists using guns from the withdrawn Russian battleship Imperator Alexander III. After the war these were handed over to the Soviet Union, which were maintained in operational condition until 1991. Withdrawn from service in 1999, they were the last Obukhovskii pieces still operational in the world. Weapons of comparable role, performance, and era. BL 12-inch Mk11, 12 naval gun Vickers British equivalent. 30.5 cm SKL/50 gun German equivalent.
Please subscribe and thanks for watching.